Hello everyone, ever wondered if you are developing a proper SEO strategy, then building a tons of backlinks, having a proper on-page SEO score, or even having the greatest technical advantages is of no good if you do not have a proper site architecture for your campaign. So today's in this episode, we will be discussing on some of the best practices of maintaining your site architecture and few guided tips which can enhance your chances for getting a proper visibility for maintaining your site architecture of your website. So now let us first understand some of the key benefits of having a proper site architecture. The first one is that having a proper site architecture can make sure that your crawl budget is not getting too much wasted. The second thing is the link equity would be diversified and the link equity can also be properly maintained within the site architecture. The third thing is that the chances of getting the search visibility or the SERP visibility gets enhanced by maintaining a proper site architecture. And last but not the least, having a proper site architecture can keep you away from the headaches from unnecessary issues such as index bloat, crawl budget, or any kind of added JavaScript or any kind of technical issues. Now let us understand some of the best practices which one can utilize for maintaining a proper site architecture. So the first option is using a flat model or known as flat site architecture. So basically the concept is very simple. You just need to ensure that you have a proper hierarchy of your website, just like your home page, then the top level navigation pages, then the secondary navigation pages, and then the category pages. You can see the proper visualization from the screen. As you can see from the screen, a proper flat model comprises of an unique three-step process where none of the users need to spend more than 3 clicks to get into a particular campaign. So this is the proper concept of maintaining a flat architecture or a flat site structure where a user should not spend more than 3 clicks to visit a particular web page. Wondering what is the benefit? So the main benefit is that this would reduce a lot of index bloat and this would also preserve a lot of the crawl budget, which can make sure that your site is getting a lot of added advantages when it comes to search visibility. The second best practice is to have a proper category pages labeled out. Suppose you are running an e-commerce campaign with thousands of pages. In that case, you need to quietly label your pages properly with your respective categories, just so that none of the pages interlink or crossover with each other with any of the multiple categories. In other words, suppose you have a category of shoes and you have a category of an apparel. So both of the categories should not have a crossover, in which case a proper pillar structured content can be maintained and your silo form of architecture can be satisfied. So category pages should be well defined and category pages should not be having a crossovers no matter what be the case. The third important best practice is to keep the URL structure simple, and in fact I'm repeating, as simple as it may sound. Just not making any URL structure complicated with query parameters or any hashtags or even any kind of faceted values. This can just make your crawling delay, and also this is not quite ethical in terms of an SEO optimization. So the URL structure should be very simple and precise to what the topic is actually discussing. This can make sure that your entire website is having a valid URL architecture, and this can help spiders or web crawlers to crawl a website in a properly and fashioned manner. The fourth best practice is to maintain a proper internal linking. In our previous videos, we have seen how internal linking can be achieved by linking within your web pages for a particular campaign. But the thing is, in an e-commerce campaign, or if you have a website with a large number of pages, in that particular case, internal link is very essential. You need to properly internal link every single categories with their respective products, or every single products with their respective categories, and also the secondary and the top level navigations as well. So internal linking can really play a huge role in making sure that a site is having a good crawling ratio and a site is free from any kind of rendering issues or any kind of bloating issues which can prevent or cause a delay with the crawling and can hamper the search engine rankings. One of the last best practices that I would recommend is keeping an HTML sitemap, because if you keep an HTML sitemap, this can reduce the crawl depth, and users can visit any other pages, or even search engine spiders can visit any other pages in less than 3 clicks, and this can keep your hierarchy as simple as it is. So 5 takeaways from this episode. The first one, the site architecture is very important. No matter how much well on page, off page, or content strategy or a technical strategy you might have for your campaign. The second benefit is that, or the second key takeaway is that you need to make sure that all the categories and product pages are labeled well, and none of the categories should have a crossover, because you need to maintain a pillar content strategy, and this is very important if you are specifically running a website with a large number of pages or even an e-commerce website. The third important aspect is that you need to make sure that your URL structure is very smooth and your URL structure is free from any unwanted informations like query parameters, hashes, under concatenations, and etc. Fourth key takeaway is that you need to make sure that you have the best internal linking strategy. If you are not sure how to do a proper internal linking, I would advise looking into my previous videos regarding the internal linking strategy. And last but not the least, it's an advice to use an HTML sitemap, because this really helps in maintaining a flat architecture, which can help both the users, the spiders, and the web crawlers to make sure that none of the pages are visited with more than 3 clicks. So considering all of these 5 aspects, you can ensure that your site is having a healthy architecture, and this can really reward you well in terms of your SEO benefits. Thank you.